I love his walking animation. Just waddling.
Gragas is just such a funny champ. That's why I love him.
Yeah.
He's just so old.
Yeah, old people are funny. I like laughing at them too.
I mean, like as an old person,
I knew
as
what
an
you
old
meant.
character.
Okay. I don't know why we're just kind of like standing here in visible river.
Where's better to stand? I thought that was like a safe place to stand.
Well, you would just stand in the brush. Like,
Oh, okay.
you don't want them to see you.
Okay, good point actually. I think I've gotten like 2 other coachings, and none of them brought that up. But that's a very good point.
That's weird, because like every single session I do, I generally have to say that.
Oh,
Maybe that's why other coaches aren't getting it.
fair enough.
But at least you know that, Sean. Okay, so into Jace. Who has the advantage early, do you think? Like, at least what were you thinking when you went into the game? Because I know you haven't played much.
I think Jace definitely has the advantage early, but in my mind, I just want to get prior early into everyone, just to like learn the character, and then I think any matchup is winnable in Louis. So I was trying to get prior early, and then if he didn't let me have it, then I would just give it.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to do.
So that's not if you're learning the champion, that's not a terrible idea. So I will have to take that into account then when you're playing this.
I think I do know what the technically correct decision was. I think I should have like played for a freeze or something because my jungle was pathing topside or something like that. But
Well, you shouldn't get a freeze.
yeah,
Now he may give you one, but what's supposed to happen is that he just has control over the lane early because of the matchup, and then the wave will end up bouncing back after it crashes. This is generally how it goes for a matchup where you're weaker. But the reason that I asked you that is because if that is not your mindset of constantly fighting, and if your mindset was going in thinking that Jace is stronger, then you would play it very differently. Because then what I'd want you to do is you would, before the minions get here, well, I guess it'd be a little closer. So like right about now, once these minions are showing up, you would be here and you would pull the wave with you up here.
yeah,
Do you understand the advantage of doing that?
yeah. It makes him lose a minion. It makes the wave push towards me, right?
Yeah. Now, the only way he loses a minion is if he overleashes, but that is a possibility. Especially because he didn't even leash, so he wouldn't miss there at all.
But it pushed towards me no matter what. Right?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have a chance to freeze.
Yeah.
Well,
His goal isn't to freeze regardless. Not right now. But yes, it causes the wave to push into you, and it makes it easier for you to be able to last it. Now, we got another mistake here. Okay, I'm gonna have to rewire my brain because you're playing for Prio. So I'm gonna have to pretend like this is a good matchup for you, I guess, for judging your decisions at least.
I do this every game on Gragas right now until I kind of am mechanically good on him.
Yeah. So I will pretend like you're a champion that can get Prio here. Even then, how you're playing it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Because you're queuing here, but like what is the goal with queuing these minions? Are you trying to push or what? What are you trying to do?
To damage them, to try and get the push.
Yeah, okay. So what do you gain by pushing this minion wave faster?
I guess it's harder for him to push it into me. I mean,
Yeah.
it helps secure that I get that level 2 advantage.
It doesn't. That's what I'm getting at. So, what wave do you get level 2 from?
The second wave?
Right. It doesn't matter how fast you kill these minions. You've got to wait for that next wave to get here.
Okay.
So, if you're burning your abilities and you're trying to push this whatever, even if you do hit level 2 first, the wave's going to be right here and you can't do anything with it. So, if you're going to play for level 2, you still want to play slow on the first wave. You would still use your Q to last hit these 3 minions at the same time, And it's going to play the same whether you're like weak or strong at this point, because pushing it faster doesn't do anything. Because just like this, boom, you both cleared out the minions, whatever, and you're hitting this minion at the same time. It doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
All that happens is you end up burning some unnecessary mana and HP in order to do it.
That's true. Yeah.
Plus, when you're doing this, when you're like, because you burn your Q, and I don't think you even intentionally hit him with this Q, you just got lucky.
I think I was actually trying.
Okay, if that was intentional, it's okay. But the reason I don't think it's intentional is because where you threw the Q, like it wasn't at him.
Oh yeah.
It was on the minions and just barely clipped him. Because if you were throwing the Q for him, it would probably been more like this. But regardless, once you do that, his minions are low, your minions are pretty healthy, assuming he doesn't just immediately start auto-attacking them. So he has plenty of time to auto-attack you while you have to last hit, because you just made them low HP. You have to walk up.
Yeah.
But he's not autoing you, fortunately. He's just hitting minions that aren't low HP, and he's just chilling. Use the Q again. Another thing that's going to end up happening is you are not going to be able to crash. And then, yeah, because of the elo, he pushes back into you. But, like, if he lets this push, you can't crash because you've already burned mana HP. You're stuck here, Echo comes in, you're dead.
Yeah.
So, doing what you're doing, like, I really think you should be doing it in norms initially, if you're just gonna like perma fight for prio and see what happens. But eventually, you do want to get to the point where you are respecting the opponent. It's gonna get really bad.
Alright, that makes sense. I'm just lucky I'm in the gold.
However, now, funnily enough, this is a similar position to what is supposed to happen, to a degree. He would have pushed a little bit faster because you had pulled the wave. But, similar position, the wave would be here, he would be higher HP, you would be maybe a little bit lower HP depending on how both of you play it, but a similar result. And then now all you want to do is just last hit. But you don't want to Q, because you don't want to push it back into him now. Especially at this point, because if you push here, then you're really gankable.
That's true, because Echo is probably pathing towards our lane.
Yeah, because you knew the Jace didn't leash, and so he's going to be showing up around 3 minutes-ish.
Yeah, there's no reason Echo wouldn't want to be in this lane.
Yeah. But, fortunately, Jace continues to push, just like you are. So it's not all bad.
I'm duo with the Belveth, by the way,
Okay.
in this game.
This audio is loud. Okay. Again, he continues to push into you.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. So if you're gonna duo... So, and part of the problem that I have with doing with a jungler specifically, whether it's intentional or not, they're gonna overgank.
Yeah.
And so, she's already cleared her bot and top side. She like, killed Scuttle, whatever. This wave was supposed to be pushing into Jace. And then she just, like, changed her mind. This gank shouldn't work. But she's gonna mess up her efficiency in order to try to force it because you're duo. Please tell me she doesn't kill him here. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So just do keep that in mind. But even then, the gank probably could have worked if it were set up properly. Him having the ward does mess with it all. But ideally, what you would do... Oh, what was that?
I telegraphed it as well.
Yeah. Ideally, you want to, like... You gotta have a reason for him to walk up. But notice, when she's getting here, he just cleared this wave. He has no reason to stay. So if you're gonna go for a gank, there needs to be low HP minions that he needs to last it. Of course, he does want to crash this wave. But that's not enough when it's warded to keep him.
Yeah.
And then you end up trying to force it as well. Get baited by a jungler. Cool.
Yeah, we weren't in call or anything. We were just duo from last game because it went well.
Okay. Okay. Pushing this wave is good. Now, interesting
It's
though.
kind of a sloppy push.
Yeah. So, is your intent here to slow push or to shove it?
To shove it, hard shove it.
Okay.
Because he doesn't have TP.
Yeah. Well, even if he does have TP, does it change?
I figured it would because if he has TP and I shove it, then he can TP and freeze it.
Can he? This wave's gonna be really big.
That's a good point.
Now, if you slow push, it'll give him time to thin it. So he would be able to if you slow push.
So shoving is always the right choice there?
Not always, in this specific instance. And I'm sure another time where slow pushing is better will show up in a minute. But slow pushing is better if you don't have time to crash. So like right here, you have time to crash, assuming you had used your abilities and shoved it. However...
If I was more proficient, I could have.
Yeah. But if the waves are here when you're coming up, you don't have the time because you still gotta wait for the minions to walk all that way. So then you would need to slow push because you simply cannot crash it in time. He has too much of a window.
So to make up for the timing, you have to like stack waves to make sure that it can't crash eventually.
Yeah, because if you go here, the next wave is still gonna be there either way, and then you're gonna get stuck right in front of his turret, and it's not pretty.
And I don't have TP anymore, so I'm kind of screwed at that point.
Yep.
Which is kind of what happens here.
This is okay. So here, you've got to recognize whenever he breaks a freeze. Here, I can understand wanting to crash, because you should. But once he does that, the wave's going to push into you. Hold on a second. Got a IRL gank, but we're good. But yeah, as I said, after he burns the Q, the wave would have slow pushed back into you, and then you're okay. You don't have to get jumped like this. You know, going.
Yeah, I think in my mind it was still okay to get chunked like this because I'm gonna recall anyways, and then he takes a lot of damage.
Yeah, I don't see any recalling going on.
Oh, I don't recall. I don't recall. well, never mind. In hindsight.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, if that's your intent, if your intent is just to recall immediately after,
Was it the right choice to do that?
I'm trying to figure out your gold. So you had like 300 gold, if that. I wouldn't say it's ideal to be recalling here. But it's not the worst thing ever if you just recall and get boots, I guess. Sure, you can do that, but he's gonna be able to crash when you go for trades like this. So yeah, he's gonna be able to crash and recall as well, and then you're just playing a game of like you push in, he pushes back kind of thing. I would much rather he just stayed healthy, and then you could have actually resisted his crash.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. So you go to ward, and now notice because you traded with him so much, the wave's here when the wave should have been pushing into you much faster, and you wouldn't actually need this ward because you'd be healthy, you'd be here. Echo can't come through here and kill you realistically, and you're fine. But now you have to burn it, which, I mean, it's probably fine because you had 2 wards, but it's something to consider. And the wave continues to push. You are... Yep, there's a little echo. And that's exactly what I was talking about. Like, he can't do anything if you're here.
If he was there sooner, I was dead though.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. The ward would not have protected you based on where you were. Oh, you're about to get dove, aren't you? Mm-hmm.
I don't think I actually died here.
I don't know what that E was. Oh my god.
I was trying to stop the JC, I think.
Yeah.
Or JSQ. Or maybe I might have been trying to clear a wave as well, because I didn't think they were going to dive so quick. Or get the Echo E. There's a lot of things I could have been trying to do.
Yeah. My immediate thought is use your ultimate to like throw Echo towards Bel'Veth or just get somebody off of you, whether it's Jace or Echo, I don't really care.
Yeah.
But use your ult and then use your E to try to get someone off as well. But then here, you E, and I believe you said to dodge Jace ability or whatever.
Like to peel myself, but...
Yeah. But if you're going to do that, then I don't know if that's just a misclick or if the intent's actually wrong there, but you would E here.
Yeah, it's just a misclick.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense then, if it's just a misclick. That is crazy, though, they screwed up the dive that hard.
You won't believe me when I say they do it twice.
Oh, do they now?
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm lucky to be in the CeeLo right now, while I'm learning a new champ.
Oh, we're deciding?
Yeah, I'm still learning. I'm not learning Gragas itemization, but...
What are you
it's
building?
ranked. I don't think Night Harvester on him in ranked solo queue, because I don't really trust my team to dish out enough AP damage usually.
Okay.
The other options are like you go like a bruiser build with like what's it called? Everfrost.
Yeah, I'd rather you go Everfrost too.
Okay, Everfrost.
So like the thing is, you already have a decent amount of magic damage on your team. I don't think it's a situation where you just have to max out on damage. If instead of Ahri, you have like a Talon and then you have a Pike support or something and you're the only magic damage, then sure, build like that.
Okay.
Or if your team is just running it down and you're in a desperate situation where you need a ton of damage, again, sure. I don't think this is the case. I think Everfrost would be perfectly fine.
That makes a lot of sense. It's probably better for my elo anyways. I was just building what the pros built.
Yeah.
And even then, the pros aren't the best Gragas players. The best Gragas player is the best Gragas player.
But regardless of the item you build, I don't think it's going to matter that much in this game.
Yeah.
You're still just going to one-shot somebody regardless.
That's true.
Okay. So let me actually see what Bel'Veth is doing here. So this is very forced. Kind of like what I talked about earlier, the other gank. It's very forced. Now Jace helps her out a little bit. And jumps onto her.
I think I had ult anyways. I don't know if he could have killed her. But I would have drained my ultimate actually, so it would have been good. He kept going.
Get the crash. Oh no.
Yeah, I ant. I don't know. Oh.
Yeah.
This one's bad. This one's mechanical though.
This is not mechanical, this is intense. There's no reason to E here. Like, okay. So when you're going for this E, what is your goal?
To crash the wave.
The wave crashes regardless.
Yeah.
He's already let it crash. It's in turret range. And then, yeah, you E. He's also been hitting the minions a ton. It is going to push back into you, just like I mentioned earlier.
Maybe it's because I thought he was locked in his Q animation and I could just get damage on him.
Yeah.
But...
And that's what I'm getting at. Does the damage matter? I would argue it doesn't do anything here. I don't think it's going to translate into a kill, and I don't think you want to stay and fight him much anyway.
That's true. That's fair enough.
Instead, you would look to crash, and then you can maybe look for some kind of rotation. You can maybe go mid, you can maybe play for Drake. I don't really care. Or you can even just wait for him to push back into you. Regardless, I don't think this E really does that much, and I'd rather you just hold the mana. Or just keep your E up in case somebody shows whatever reason. Just doesn't do much.
Okay.
But yeah, it would look not nearly as bad if it did hit, of course.
If it did hit, it looked cool, but still,
Yeah,
it's a bad
yeah,
idea.
it still doesn't do much. Okay, so we're back, chilling. We were warding up like crazy.
I just placed that ward in the top bush because they have an early game jungle. I don't know if Echo is an early game jungle, but I placed that ward because I'm sitting on 2 wards. And I placed a control ward because Bel'Veth is topside. That's my thought process.
Okay, so the control ward I'm fine with, because of the brush it's in. I don't think you even need to use a control in particular. You could use your regular trinket for this. But this ward's pretty pointless because you could just check it. It's not like Jace is in lane. You knew he recalled. You could just go walk into it. It's not like they can one-shot you.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned, okay, being on 2 wards. So, yes, using a ward is fine, so you have your next one running or whatever, but if you don't need a ward, then just don't place the ward. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter if, like, let's say you have 2 wards available, and then you get another one, like you decide, okay, I'm going to use a ward simply because I want the next one running. Why does that matter? Because if in a situation you hit where you need a ward, you've already got your 2 anyway. It doesn't make a difference whether you use it now or later if you don't actually need the ward.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could, if you want to use 2 wards, I'd rather you do something like use the trinket, you shove out this wave, and then you could use the control ward in like his jungle or something to get a little bit more value out of it. You can just instantly shove this wave.
I get some deep vision.
Yeah.
Makes sense, because I have a lot of free time here, I guess.
The time when you would use a ward like this, I'm not saying it's never bad, it's just like, if you're playing against something like a Xin Zhao and the enemy champion, I don't know, if they have like really good pick potential off of you and you don't know where they are at all, then yeah, you could ward this. And you'd still have to be careful of the range, of course. But if you're playing in like a Renekton and Xin Zhao or something like that, then maybe.
Okay.
But I just don't think it's necessary. Anyway, back to this. So it pushes into you. Chilling here. This is another problem with the control ward. It's like, he's just going to clear it. Unless you're in a really good position to defend it. Not all that great.
Yeah, what I thought is that Bel'Veth was gonna look for an aggressive play top lane, but I should have seen that she had no camps up there.
Yeah.
So that's just my mistake.
Well, it's also, like, okay. So if you're going for an aggressive play, let's see. So I believe it was about here. She gets the Herald. And then, yeah, as you said, she doesn't have any camps up. And you're pushing. How are you going to gank if you're pushing?
That's a good point. I could have gone for like a slow push there.
Sure, yeah, if you want to set up a dive, then yeah, that would be the play you would like. You could slow push. But I don't think you're diving the Jace at full HP.
Yeah.
You could try.
She has no help.
But yeah, it's just not really the time to try to force that. He's got too much range.
Mess up there, so I have to ult.
Yeah. Almost had.
And then he messes up, so he has to flash. He thought his echo was gonna follow up, I think.
Yeah. Oh, this is where they screwed up again, like you
Oh my god, I canceled my auto.
You did.
Is...
It's so sad. When you get
I thought
hit.
minions were gonna kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yep.
That could have gone a hell of a lot better, though.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't, no.
It could have, yes, but it shouldn't.
It turned out, it could have.
Yeah. It's like here.
What was my big misplay here? Like trading with him while we didn't know where Echo was, and while my jungler was bot side?
Echo showed here. But I mean, The misplay is just getting chunked. Like, if you're healthy, you're fine. But then, right here, we're taking this trade. What's the unnecessary thing? You just want to let him crash the wave, and then you farm under turret.
Okay.
Once you're at this point, then you have to ward behind you, unless you know Echo can't dive you. Which is another reason why I was talking about holding onto wards, because if you end up in a situation like this, which you do still have one, but yeah, you can just ward here, and you're fine.
Yeah.
If Echo does show up, then you just have to back away and drop the wave. Worst case scenario for a top laner, but have to do it.
I have to leave my island.
Yeah. Your precious minions.
I think my flash there was actually me trying to flash behind and eat them both in their tower, but it had a longer siege than I thought.
Okay, so we're shoving the wave. Is this good or bad?
We saw Echo recall, so I think it's good. And Jace can't kill me solo. So
Okay.
I think it's good. We could deny him some XP and CS.
So let's see what happens. Because I'd rather use slow push, but we'll see what happens here. Wave gets stuck right here,
Same thing as last
and
time.
then yeah. So he collects the
We could
wave.
fix that.
But the difference is, if you slow push, because you're right here, if you slow push, it gives you a bigger window to move. When you shove, it's very few minions you're actually crashing. And then now, because of that, you don't want to leave, because you're going to lose minions, because he's going to have plenty of time to crash. So I'd rather you slow push when you're here, so that you have like a bigger wave, and then you can maybe look for something mid lane.
Okay, so if I like slow push for a long time, like a few minutes, and then crash a big wave.
Well, you can't do it for a few minutes.
Not a few minutes, as long as I can, you know,
like a couple waves, yeah, if you're to the last setting.
Yeah, until I have to crash.
Yeah.
I can like look for a play on Herald and like mid lane, right?
Yeah. So because Herald is down, yeah, you can't do that, but you could run mid, and then maybe something happens here potentially. Even if nothing happens, that's fine. You still have plenty of time to run back top. This ward I don't like. Got a guess?
It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
I'm not
'Cause
gonna
you just
do
left the
anything.
lane.
Wave is gonna be in the middle.
Yeah, you left the lane. Wave's gonna be in the middle. If you're running, yeah, you're just running around the river. It doesn't do anything for you.
What should I have done with that extra time? I mean, I would have if I was slow pushed, I wouldn't have so much extra time. But should I have done mid lane?
Yeah, if you slow push, you'd have more time, and then you could run here. Even with the shove, I still would just run here. You could run, like, what you're doing is fine. Running to here, and just kind of hovering, and then you can decide as you get closer. But my whole point is that the ward is unnecessary, because you're going to know if Jace leaves or not, based off minions.
Okay.
And he'll be really late anyway. So yeah, you come in, this is good, don't get me wrong, and then as soon as you kill, you go back top. Good. Catch the wave.
He
Wonderful.
gets a lot of plating that. He gets like a kill's worth of plate.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Drake's up in 58 seconds. Hopefully, you are thinking about that during this moment. And everything you do should be relative to that.
I don't think it was.
Yeah. So
I think what happened is we gave the first two Drakes and then started fighting for them.
So I think right now, what you could do, if Jace backed off, you can insta-shove this wave, and then you can go run to Drake. He's going to have to clear the wave, and you can get a 5v4. He doesn't have teleport, so he can't stop you.
It's a very smart play, actually. I should have done that. Yeah.
But instead, what you're doing, you're recalling in the brush, which is like the worst thing you could do. The reason that I don't like recalling is because not only are you deciding, okay, I'm not going to the Drake, but you're not getting anything done while the enemy team is doing the Drake, nor are you stopping him from getting first turret.
Yeah.
I'm fine with you sacrificing first turret as long as you're winning this Drake fight, because it's pretty inevitable that he's going to get it. But there's no point in just recalling and giving it. Better at least get something out of it. And then here, now the enemy team knows the dragon is free because your jungler showed top.
Mm-hmm.
And this is about the point where I start missing pinging the jungler. But you go, you push turret. I don't know why the Bel'Veth's still here. This turret push is so sad. There we go, we get it, finally. And during all of that, the gold players still couldn't realize this was free. We're finally getting it though.
I didn't realize they didn't take it.
Yeah.
That's just I'm a gold player. I wasn't even looking at it on the map.
30 seconds hitting a turret and they finally realized it. Because, yeah, there are a couple issues. I know it's not really related to you, but I figured it'd be interesting to explain. So there's a couple of reasons that this is bad for her staying so long. One, as I've already mentioned a million times, Drake is up. But then also, if Echo sees this, he can just go take her entire bot side and then take Dragon as well. And she just can't play the game.
A big point for play.
Yeah, they get the camps, they throw a control ward right here, she tries to go into Raptor, she's dead. And then she's...
This made... I like asking dumb questions because it helps solidify it in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
But Bel'Veth is like really relying on Rift Herald, isn't it? So couldn't it be better to get like top prio to fight for Rift Herald instead of early dragons?
So she does really like Rift Heralds, but this is not what I would call top prio.
Okay.
If she's okay, there are times where she would be willing to trade a dragon for Herald, but Herald wasn't even up. So this is not that kind of situation at all.
That's true. Herald's up in 3 seconds at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense actually.
Yeah, this has been up for a while, so it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, so it could have been an acceptable play if both were up and then we just decided to 5-man Herald instead of Dragon.
Yeah, like, well, you wouldn't 5-man it.
Well, not 5-man, but
yeah, if you thought that the dragon fight was risky or whatever, and that they might take if you thought you couldn't get both, and then it's a matter of just determining the risk. Like, yeah, sometimes it is better to just go for the Herald and not take the risky fight, especially if, like, let's say, I don't know, your Zeri randomly died right before dragon spawned, then absolutely you'd go for Herald.
Okay.
But this play, none of that is taken into account.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, we like chilling.
I don't have enough gold to get my item. I'm like a little bit gold short.
Yeah.
100 gold short here, I think.
What did you say, 100?
I think I was very, like, close to my item. Yeah, 1600 with the component.
So, yeah, you have...
I try and sell everything to see if I have enough gold, but I don't quite.
Yeah, and you're just like, and you're sad.
Yeah. That's fine. I'm gonna one-shot it. I'm gonna one-shot any of their squishies regardless. It doesn't really make a huge difference, but... It's like the difference between having a Rabadons and not having a Rabadons at full build versus a Twitch.
That was a very specific example, but I get what you're getting at.
Just like a little bit extra AP.
Yeah.
I'm in a bad position here.
You are. Now, why is this all this bad?
Let's see. Because our jungler just died. What are we fighting for at that point?
Exactly. As soon as she dies, you just back off. Yep.
Back off, go get top wave, and then I guess take. We could just push top wave, right?
Yeah, you could either do top wave, or the alternative is taking her jungle camp so that the enemy team can't take it.
Okay, that was actually what I was gonna say, but I thought it sounded stupid.
Yeah, no, it's perfectly fine to do that.
Yeah.
But then once we commit to this, through some miracle, you manage managed to live again.
That's why I take face range.
Yeah.
I take first strike sometimes too. First strike is really nice.
So, I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm seeing a pattern, so I'm going to ask why you're doing it. Why are you running top here?
To catch wave. And
Okay.
be near Rift Herald.
Can anyone else catch the wave?
Doesn't look like it. I mean, no one else is topside right now, but other people technically could catch the wave, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, let's say Ari's alive right now, and she's also in base. Would you go top or bottom?
Well, I see Belveth walking bots, so but she could be. I always just go wherever no one's walking, but what I should have done here is walked bottom because I have TP, right?
You don't have TP, but you will soon. So yes, you would want to go bottom because you have teleport for Herald and Dragon's not up. That's what I was getting at.
Okay.
Now
you just want to be wherever, like you want your team to be closest if you have TP, right?
Yeah.
So everyone could be there for the fight.
Yeah. But you going top lane is okay because Ari's dead, and as you mentioned, Belveth can catch the bottom wave. But it just needs to be your reason for why you're going top.
Yeah, I make a huge mistake with that TP later in the game, which you'll see with Belveth and like catching waves.
I like the ward here. Making sure you're not getting caught. What I don't like, though, is that you're insta-clearing this wave. What's the rush?
I guess there isn't a rush, because I'm gonna...
Yeah.
I guess they're gonna push it in a second anyways, because I could just got Rift Herald.
Yeah, you do not want to have to walk up here.
Yeah.
So you would rather be farming closer to your turret, so you at least have less room that you have to run away to get to safety of the second turret, because they can probably just kill this one. Regardless,
Yeah.
You're in a safer position. Now, in order to walk up, you have to walk way up here. You really don't like doing this.
Yeah.
And yeah, Echo shows up. This is an absolutely terrible Herald.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, this dude's griefing.
He wasted Rift Herald for 20 HP.
Yeah.
I don't think I actually should have walked up to clear that, not knowing where Jason was or anything, but it worked out. Kind of risky, because Echo was just there.
Yeah. Team's fighting. You should be... Okay. So as you're clearing, you should be panning your camera, trying to determine, okay, should I go or not? At this point, I would just move, and then if you realize it's a bad fight, you can go back to the wave.
Okay.
But you do want to at least be there. Worst case scenario, you can like use an ult to get them out or something.
Yeah.
I think it's really risky with how they're positioning to not walk there.
Yeah, you don't want them to lose the game.
Yeah. Farming the wave like this and pushing out top is fine when your teammates are in a position like, let's say they're here and then they're not actually looking for a fight. That would be your time where you want to catch the waves. But then once your teammates start walking towards the enemy or being in a risky position, then you need to adapt to what they're doing and try to work with them.
Okay.
Fortunately, they didn't die, so there's no issue. You catch the wave, it's all great. And to clarify, that is what's supposed to happen, is they're supposed to be just catching the mid wave, you catch the top wave, and it's all good. They just get a little ambitious, and so then you have to play differently, unfortunately.
Yeah, but then yeah, it's part of the game. I should have changed my game plan.
Yeah, that's just part of solo queue. It's like people do stupid stuff, and sometimes you have to do an unoptimal decision because of it.
My duo partner looks like they're trolling this game, but they end up boosting me both games. It's like, are there... It might be the character. The character's kind of nuts. You'll see later in the game. They literally just walk in and kill them all.
Yeah, their scaling is disgusting.
Like 3 times in a row. Yeah, I think I just in my mind, I watched a pro guide once, and I just want to shove and then roam to the fight so that it's a 5v4, and Jace has to catch the wave, but I didn't really shove it far enough.
Yeah, we didn't do any of that. We got blue buff, but
Blue buff, yeah.
you didn't do any of that. Now, if you were to continue to push here, that'd be great. You got 41 seconds till Drake. You shove out this wave, and then because you have teleport, you could even keep pushing if you wanted to.
Yeah.
If you didn't have teleport, or if you just decided you wanted to hold on to it, then you would leave immediately after pushing this wave, and it's good enough to work with.
Okay.
But the blue buff is, yeah.
It's griefing.
Yeah.
I'm just losing CS.
Yeah, not to say the blue buff isn't good on Gragas, it's just not the time. Because now you're not able to you're not able to push out the wave. You're going to be a little awkward on timing here because now they're in position. They're able to block you off. Especially against the Veigar and Echo, this is not pretty. Because Echo, he can like throw his W to block this off. Veigar can block this off with his wall as well. It's going to be very, very difficult to get in there. Especially because as Gragas, you can't just E through Veigar wall.
Yeah,
you get stuck.
we have no vision.
Yeah. So at this point, it's really bad. And I would say, for the most part, you're thinking you want to give up the dragon. Because you've already gotten here way too late. Now, if you had crashed this, like if you had decided, okay, I'm going to push all the way to the turret because I have TP, and then you can get Jace to leave, then maybe you can look for something. But he has no reason to leave because you went for blue buff.
Yeah, is another option if, I'm just asking, if we get vision of all 5 of them down there, and can we all just go like Baron? Or is that not an option at 20 minutes?
Depending on your comp, maybe, but I don't think you can clear fast enough.
Okay.
Like, if you're all there right now and you have a really fast clear with, like, a Zyra that's just got plants stacked up, maybe.
Okay.
But that would be really risky. And in gold, there's no way that's going to be coordinated well enough.
Okay, maybe in flex.
Even then, yeah, it'd still be very difficult. You'd have to have the right comp for it. But with a Gragas, Ahri, like, you're not going to have the clear for it.
Okay, that makes sense. I wasn't saying we should do this game.
Yeah. I get that. You're probably going to die here. God dang it. Alright.
My last 2 games, I got very lucky. I think I'm on like a 4-game win streak from just pure luck.
Yeah. So what they're supposed to do, I'll go from the enemy perspective. So what they're supposed to do, they already have control of vision. All they have to do is they just pull the dragon, somebody hits it, they get it right here, and then you can't walk into them. Yeah. But instead, they just stand in the pit. I don't know what this tornado is achieving. And then half the team runs over here. They just help you out. If they don't do that and they stick with their teammates, you're very screwed if you try to engage. But fortunately, jungle diff, I guess.
Big jungle diff.
Drake.
We're kind of just walking around like we don't know what to do right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as soon as you get Drake, you just leave, because you still can't win the fight.
Yeah, just recall at that point.
Yeah.
We stopped them from getting soul point.
Yeah. You could either recall, or you could go, like, take Scuttle and push top. Either way, just getting out of there.
Yeah, I think in my mind, I could just hop over the wall and maybe we can get like save a teammate. But it's pointless.
So we are running mid. What is the thought with running mid here?
Wave.
Yes, minions.
I looked at my CS versus the Jace and I was like, oh, I need some CS, and then I'm gonna go top.
So going for this wave is okay, as long as your intent immediately after is to go run bot.
Yeah, I think what I actually wanted to do here was go bot lane, but I saw Ahri here. Because usually I have it in my mind to go wherever the nearest, like go away from the nearest objective if I have TP, but I saw Ahri was clearing the wave already, so I didn't know what to do. Yeah,
and that's why I said you go for this wave while she's clearing that one, and then you ping her to go top.
Okay.
If you ping her to go top and she's like, nah, I'm not moving, then yeah, you would go top.
Okay.
But you want to at least try to get her to move first.
I gotta stop being so nice.
Yeah. Well, it's not even really being nice or mean. It's just like you ping it a couple times, just assistance on like the top lane, Maybe ping alive so she understands you're talking about her, and then usually that's enough for people to follow.
Yeah. Okay.
Just don't missing ping them. You don't have to do all that.
Yeah. If you're missing ping, they'll leave.
Then they'll just stay. But yeah.
Yeah. I know these people's mentals.
Mm-hmm.
I know their mentals so well. I just play with chat off.
Now I'm finally catching top wave. It's cool. Wonderful. And now you go bottom. Really late, but it's okay.
I think I don't want to burn TP here, so I push bot, and I just decide if I get there early enough, I don't have to TP, and maybe I can catch Chase before he split pushes again.
So the whole time you're running bottom, you should be looking here and considering TP.
Okay.
Just seeing like, okay, if they overstep, I can go in. Zeri, man, she kind of runs it down there. But your team wins it. So as soon as you see this, then your thought is, okay, I want to clear out bot wave and then teleport to the Baron. That should be your thought.
Okay.
But
I should just TP right away.
Yeah, like right now, you would TP. But now you're just walking, and it's like...
Okay, so you're right. We could have actually just Baron and ended if I got there sooner. And
well, ended's a bit of a stretch.
Well, and ended, but we could have sieged a little bit.
Yeah, you could have definitely won this fight if you were there earlier, gotten the Baron, and then you could take a turret out.
If I just used my teleport early, we would have had more resources.
Yeah.
If I just didn't use my teleport.
But for some reason, I guess because it's a long cooldown, you're like, oh, I don't want to use it, and then...
And the funny thing is it's only 200-second cooldown because of my runes.
Yeah, and you're probably not going to use it for a hot minute anyway.
Yeah, it's like usually like a 300-second cooldown, 240, right?
Yeah.
I end here, yeah. I waste a lot of time though. So much.
Yeah. As you said, you did indeed end. So you just clear this wave and then you walk away and it's all good. But you decided to greed a little bit.
Yeah, I should have backed when I saw my team was all dead and backing.
Yep. Now you die. And what is the problem with the timing of that death?
Dragon is spawning right now.
Uh-huh. And even if you TP, you're going to be late.
Yeah.
So now your team is forced to give this third dragon, and it's not going to be good. But I said that last dragon. So we're going to see what happens.
They actually do get this dragon, actually. But I think my team wins the fight somehow. Do they?
Okay, not this one. That would have taken
Not
a
this
true
one.
miracle.
The next one. At some point, the Bel'Veth's just... Oh, I TP here. That's right. I don't die.
Now is when you decide the time is to TP.
It looked better in my head. Look at it when I decided to TP. It looked like a good fight. I wasn't watching the whole time. Like right here, it looks beautiful. Doesn't it?
I mean, it's okay. I will give you that. It doesn't look that bad.
I didn't know that Twitch was there. I wasn't really paying that much attention. But then Twitch shows up and Jana shows up.
Without taking into account who's missing, it doesn't look that bad.
I don't do enough damage for my combo to kill.
Yep.
I guess that's why the build isn't really worth it with all the shield bows in the game now. There's no point.
Oh yeah, they definitely have a whole lot of shield bows on their team.
That's a good point.
That was a Krakatoa Slayer Twitch. You just don't do any damage.
Yeah, that's true.
It's because he has Jaina and heal.
Basically a shield bow, walking shield bow.
Yep. Everyone and their mother is bot lane for some reason.
Yeah, I was about to follow them. Like, wait, if you go back 15 seconds, you see I was about to follow them.
Yeah.
But then I saw that my Bel'Veth was going Baron, and I'm like, wait, why aren't we just going Baron? So I pushed mid out, and we just go for Baron.
Well, Baron's pretty troll too.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah. Well, how are you gonna clear it? You got two people bot.
That's true. I figured Belveth has a good clear, and she wanted to do it, so if I'd be the troll to just let my Belveth solo it.
I mean, she has sin in her name. She deserves to be punished.
It's true.
Because she's about to sin here on this Baron. If you have the opposite situation of, like, let's say this is either Zeri or Ari, one of the two, preferably Ari. Let's say Ari's here and then she's holding Twitch and Vagar, then yeah, you can do it. Because then you would have your 4 people, they would have 3 people that can't show up because Jace is dead and then Vagar and Twitch or whoever would be there. But you need a better number situation than this because it's going to be 3v3 when they all show up here. And
I don't know. We see a lot more bot lane. I'm pretty sure, don't we?
do you?
In a second.
Okay. Okay. Now when you see this, I mean, you still don't have the clear. Well, you got 3. You can try it actually. Yeah, at this point.
I wasn't even thinking Baron before that. I was just pushing mid.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, if this is your intent before they show up, then that's fair. And then you would have to immediately go on Baron, and then yeah, okay, this is fine. I mean, it's still gonna be close. It's like, man, this Baron.
Yeah, well, it was incredibly close.
Yeah, yeah. It's like the Gragas and Lulu, man, they just don't do anything. But
some would argue it was 50-50.
Yeah, I do agree. You not using your wards kind of does make it 50-50. Like if you, as you were coming through here, if you had a little bit deeper wards, then it'd be a little easier to work with, or if you hit the plane or something. But
yeah,
you're going in kind of dark. Hey, at least you get it.
At least we get it for sure.
Oh, speaking of, why didn't you ult when you're clearing it? Maybe you just didn't see them. But like here would be when you would ult, not after you've already cleared the Baron.
Oh, I don't know.
It's a little weird on timing. Maybe you notice it late or something.
I'm just a little slow. I'm playing with Hyping right now. I'm on vacation.
Vacation gamer, respect.
Amen. I gotta get on that grind.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird that I get motivation right when I'm on vacation.
Yeah. Not ideal, but it works.
Maybe it'll transfer over to when I'm not on vacation though. Yeah, we kind of just stand here for a little bit.
Yep. I would rather like once you get a start, that's great and all, but then somebody's just got to go top or bot or something.
Yeah.
Get this pushed out. Fiesta. I don't really care how this turns out.
This is what I mean. The Zeri almost 1v5, but then she accidentally picked up a soul. This is just chapter.
Yep.
What a fiesta! Everyone's left dead except for me and Jace.
Yep. 43 seconds until Dragon. You're running towards Dragon.
I just run out of it. I just plan to keep them off until my team's alive and get vision.
So what you gonna do with that vision?
What am I gonna do with that vision? I guess keep them off of it, peel the dragon off, see who's on the dragon, so I could see if it's even a winnable fight.
Like,
I don't
this
know
is okay because they
vision.
showed here, but then beyond this, it doesn't. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
Belveth is gonna be late. You just have to give this dragon. Please don't win this fight. Okay. Oh, Belveth coming in hot.
You're seeing it in full heat now. We get that. Do it. Yeah, we get the next 2 drags.
Yeah. It's a miracle.
You're about to see a beautiful play in a few minutes from me. It's about the only beautiful play I make this game. But everything else was kind of 50-50.
Where are we going?
Sure. Start mid.
We'll get the blue buff. Okay, we're happy, Gragas.
Happy Gragas. Resetting for Baron.
This is good.
Bad pathing. Looking for a cheese play.
Yep. Ah, we get greedy. I'm going for the Jace. You were in position, then you gave up your position.
It's because the Velvet pinged it. She really wanted it.
Yeah. You gotta take into account, though, where teammates are. You gotta wait on these two.
That's very true, yeah. If we just waited, that Janna was
Mm-hmm, she was gone. You had her. Someone is always gonna walk up because they want to ward it, and then boom, dead. Now, if the Janna is competent, she starts her tornado before walking up, but...
Yeah. Even then, I just E-flash ult her.
Yeah, you can do that.
It works out, though, because they run it down.
Yep.
And the Vigor flashes. Vigor is their only source of damage at this point of the game. Like, Jace does damage, but Vigor is the only one that can kill our Bel'Veth.
Instead of using Q on the Baron, use your Q in chokes. Use it here.
Okay.
So that way, because your Q is not doing that much damage to the Baron.
Yeah.
But if you're throwing a Q here, then you force them either not to walk up or take the damage. What you're doing here is better if like you really need to rush the Baron, but their jungler is dead. You're not in that kind of position. It's mostly just making sure that you can stop them from engaging on all of you.
Yeah.
And then here you Q, but notice how it's harder now because the space compared to here or here. They've got more room to work with.
Yeah, the Q's in a bad place.
Mm-hmm. And then
I
the E.
Control E.
Yeah. You get Baron.
They waste their time on me, but it's worth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely that's why.
Yeah, we got Baron then die.
Yeah.
It's
And
not
the game ends in like 5 minutes.
Does it? Oh wow.
Did we do the fancy combo?
Did you see that shit? Oh, it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. It's not the fancy combo. It's almost the fancy combo.
Oh, do you mean the EQ ult combo? Yeah.
Yeah, where like it throws it into the fully charged Q.
Yeah, I was like, I can do that combo, but
Yeah.
it's
It's
like,
completely unnecessary. It just looks cool.
Yeah, it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
It's so much easier, and I'm not gonna one shot him anyway, so it's so much easier to just E ult.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not saying you're supposed to.
That makes no difference.
We're all low HP. Oh, thank God Zeri's about to get Raptors. I don't know what we'd do without it.
I love watching my VODs after games and just seeing people farm while they're about to end the game. It's incredible.
Hey, we get Dragon.
First drag, yeah.
Do a little dying.
Try the CC.
Did you get popped? Oh, he just hurts. Okay.
Well, I figured he would run away, which is why I ulted like that, but
Yeah.
he was committed to killing me.
I'd imagine the rest is just, I'll speed through it, but I'd imagine the rest is eventually you win a team fight and then you hit the turret.
Yeah, there's not much. At this point, it's just a stomp, pretty much.
Yeah.
Maybe I killed Vigor in another creative way. Actually, I do kind of get a cool play here.
What is this? Maybe?
Not this one. It's in the second, I'm pretty sure. That might have been last game, actually. No, it was last game.
Yeah.
That cool play around this part.
Yeah. So there we go.
Yeah.
So I'll bring out a notepad. Biggest thing is wave management. But then, well, actually, that's not true. The bigger thing that I ignored to a degree was the trading.
Okay.
Because, as you said, you were playing intentionally to learn about the matchup by fighting him a bunch early.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you play more Gragas, hopefully some of that will kind of fix itself on its own, as well as looking up matchup spreadsheets or whatever, just learning more about Gragas in general. That can help, and then once you get that down, then you can actually start respecting opponents that are supposed to have the advantage early.
Okay.
So you can do that, and then wave management kind of goes along with that, of either letting them push or you push. But of course, don't forget about slow pushing versus shoving as well. There's a little bit of warding, with like when to ward, where to ward, and
Control words probably.
yeah. And
Okay.
there was something else that's slipping my mind.
Being in the right. I mean.
Yeah, there was a little bit of being in like the right place on the map, because you like weren't pinging your teammates to move somewhere else. Oh,
Maybe I didn't push far enough.
that too. But yeah, so like objectives, and then I'll put these two together because they overlap. The reason I say that is like, let's say it's easier to explain if you don't have teleport.
Okay.
So let's say dragon spawns in a minute, and you are this blue top laner, you've already killed this turret, whatever. If you're here, you're gonna push very differently than if you're here and it spawns in 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Because if you're here, you want to slow push a wave and then shove the next one immediately, so that you can get there at a good timing with the crash. But if you're here, then you have to slow push a lot more and like try to really slow down when you crash if you're right here versus if you're here.
Okay.
But the reason I'm saying that is just so that you understand that it's not just a laning phase thing. It will continue on. Whether it's slow pushing, shoving, freezing, that all still applies the same.
You have to like push relative to when the next wave is gonna get there and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
And then a smaller thing that we did cover is like leaving a wave based on your teammates' positions. So like if you think they're about to fight, then you would need to move. Whereas if they just recalled, then you're not in as big of a rush to shove a wave.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And that's what I see a lot, is like someone's jungler will invade or something, and then they're sitting there freezing top, and it's like, you can't do that. And then the jungler dies and everybody's mad.
Yeah.
So yeah, just keep that in mind. But yeah, do you have any kind of questions or anything?
How would I go about like practicing wave management specifically? Like, because that's what I've had a problem with for like years. Wave management is just kind of my big problem that I can't really get rid of.
Okay.
Because on other champs, my trading gets better, but wave management doesn't.
Yeah. So there are a few ways. I mean, the first one is just, it's a lot of thinking and just looking at like let's say you go into a VOD and then you're looking at whether you pushed or not. It's just thinking about what situation happened. So like, let's say right here, I don't know why the map is dark and stuff, but let's say that like he has a freeze or something. Then an easy way to figure out if you messed up wave management was to go back 15-20 seconds and see how that froze occurred. How that freeze occurred by like if you were here and then then you didn't crash it properly because you didn't shove the wave or whatever.
Okay,
But
so see bad situations you got put in and see how you could have.
yeah, and then go backwards and figure out how that happened.
Okay.
Yeah. Usually the easiest way to do that is if you die in laning phase and you're like, okay, how did I end up dying? Now, of course, that can be a trading mistake, but a lot of the time it's wave management, and then
Okay,
you
that makes
get
sense.
it put in a bad position. Another way is like you can just watch better players. It doesn't even have to be just Gragas, and then try to predict what they're gonna do with the wave, and then see if you get it right or not.
Okay.
And of course, the last option is like if you continue to try to figure out on your own, you're still stuck. Then just get more people to look at your games and then explain it that way. Whatever way it takes in order to figure it out.